The other day I got accused of reading minds, which is not too far from the truth, but you ever feel like there's somebody on the planet that always like knows exactly what's in your head? Like whatever it is that you're experiencing, they're kind of summarizing it for you. And then all of a sudden you're experiencing this in life, or you just had this thought and boom, there's that Instagram post, or boom, there's this podcast or a YouTube video. Or how do they get in your head? Like how are they like narrating exactly what it is that you're experiencing, and how are they tapped into what your life is? You don't even know them. And maybe you're in a parasocial relationship with them, meaning like you know them on the internet, but you don't actually know them in person, and they for sure don't know you, but how are they still tapped into what the heck you're going through with such minute details that are correct? Well, there's a very specific reason for that, and we're going to break that down on today's episode. Now, welcome to the Playground Podcast. I'm Shanila. This is your space for spiritual exploration, self-mastery, magic, mysticism, building your intuition, all the fun stuff. This is the playground, and we are just walking each other home. Now, I'm going to kind of ask you a question. If you already have somebody in mind that you feel like, yo, this person has been reading me lately, you know, or maybe for a while, like whatever they post or whatever they do, and maybe it's a person you know in real life or you don't, it just hits. Like it's just like, it's sharp, it's so direct, it's so pointed. It's like, were you talking to me? Were you in my head, like extracting this information for me? And the reason for why somebody's tapped into this collective consciousness with you is that we're all a reflection and mirror for each other. Okay, that's the boring answer. And there is a reason why some people feel so familiar to you. Your body begins to relax, your body begins to feel seen, your nervous system begins to kind of let go. And there's also a panic that your nervous system experiences when you're being read like this to filth. So I want you to think about somebody in your life that you feel this way about. And maybe you're this person for somebody else, and maybe somebody else is this for you, or maybe multiple people. But think like, is there a person that just knows what you're thinking all the time, or just like can narrate your experience or summarize it for you or mirror it back to you? And maybe, again, maybe you know this person or maybe you don't, but it's always hitting. It's like, how did you do this with such accuracy? How did you like cut into it and just like see through the shit? And everything that I was thinking and feeling, you put it into words, and everything that I was experiencing, you summarized it into this like cohesive explanation. And now I feel like understood, and I feel underseen. I feel seen. So if there is a person that is like that for you, keep that person in mind. Okay. So when you're holding this energy of this person in your mind, in your heart, or wherever in your body that feels right for you, feel into whether or not this person feels really familiar to you. Okay, like if you were to meet this person, it would just feel like an old friend, and it's just like there's no barriers within you, your heart is open, there's like a unsaid trust, and like not a non-discerning trust, like maybe you don't fully trust everybody, but there's this like, I feel like I can relax. I feel like I can let go. I feel like I can, let go of some of these masks that I hold. Maybe your shoulders start to relax. Maybe your heart feels more open. Maybe your tummy, your gut, your intuition unclenches in a certain way. Maybe there's some kind of familiarity with this person. On the same hand, perhaps this person feels really triggering to you. Perhaps because they can see right through you, it feels constricting to you. It's like, oh shit, I can't lie because they're reading my shit right now, or I can't kind of like pretend or mask in a certain way that I can with all these other people, because when they look at me, they can see right through me, and they know what my fears are, and they know what I'm doing to navigate it. And not because they're perfect and they know exactly what to do about it for themselves, but they see me. They understand my pain. They understand my grief, my sadness, my heartache, my fill in the blank. And that's really triggering to me. And it feels like I don't want to be perceived like that, because I'm trying to pretend like everything's good and everything's okay. And then they're like, no, bitch, you're sad. Like, no, you're actually, like repeating this pattern, or you're in this cycle. There is this self-esteem story or self-worth story. And maybe they're not saying it that way, but they can see you. They truly see you. So when you're thinking of this person, perhaps it's on the spectrum of somebody who just feels like so good and like it's freeing to your body. And perhaps this person feels a little triggering to your body. And here's your third option. This person might feel both, right? It's like, wow, there's this familiarity, openness, expression, this like ability to let go. And I feel like I don't have to pretend and mask and stuff like that. And simultaneously, I don't like that because I can't pretend and I can't hide and I can't, it's like, I'm just being seen and it's really triggering. Even if that's what I want, I don't really want it. You know, there's this kind of like oscillating feeling in your nervous system. Now, why I'm bringing this up to you is that when you feel like somebody's reading your mind, there's this familiarity of the soul that's always going to be at the forefront of this, because our souls have met each other. You know, we're tapped into a conscious algorithm. So the things that me and you're talking about, we're tapped into the same stratosphere. I'm mirroring to you, experiencing that I'm having, and you're also experiencing the same things. I'm just saying it to you. And you're saying it to me. I'm seeing it. I'm recognizing the pattern. I'm expressing it into words. I'm consolidating that information. You might provide that service for somebody in your life, you know, not maybe as a formal thing or kind of just like a skill set you have. You might be somebody who's just experiencing life. And then you're like, whoa, isn't it weird that we all just experience all of this kind of stuff? And then you summarize it for your friend group, or you summarize it from your family. You say, hey, isn't it weird that we all have this generational thing? And then you summarize it for them. So part of what you're experiencing is just a reflection of other people who are going through the same shit as you. And so when you are, you know, maybe interacting with my podcast, The Playground, perhaps you're on my YouTube, perhaps you're in my stratosphere on Instagram or my email or my memberships or mastermind, like wherever it is that you are interacting with me from, there's this familiarity that many people often feel with me. And they say, you're in my head. You understand exactly this. I was just thinking this. You read my mind. It's like, no, I'm just reflecting to you what I'm going through. And I'm doing it through the lens of the collective. So when I'm with my clients, with my community members, with people that are in my personal life, whether they're friends or business partners or collaborators or community members in any kind of way, I'm recognizing patterns and repeating them back to you, reflecting them, translating, communicating them back to you. My strength lays in communication, taking information from so many different studies, wisdom traditions, different domains, and, you know, categories of studies, and consolidating it to be able to be understood by the average person, by the person who's just this curious mind like us inside the playground. Now, when you're experiencing this person who feels like they're reading your mind, I mentioned two things, right? Actually, three things. I said, this might be very liberating, it might be very scary, and might be a mix of both. So wherever it is that you're standing right now with this person who's like reading your mind, you might think about, are you cool with this familiarity? So wherever it is that you're standing with this person who can read your mind, if you're navigating feeling really terrified that this person can like actually see you, it's something for you to navigate within your nervous system, because what it's showing you is that there is this fear, this subconscious fear of letting yourself be seen, letting yourself be vulnerable, letting yourself be tender. And I've personally experienced this in my life where I'm like, let me pretend this and that. And then I meet somebody and they're like, cut through the shit. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit, I do that for other people. But when they do that for me, I'm like, I don't like it. It's like triggering to me, because now it's like, oh, I can't pull a fast one on you. Not that I'm trying to, but it kind of is that feeling that I can't just like, you know, slide by. They're going to really see me. And my body used to panic so hard. My body used to just be like, abort. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this conversation. I don't want to be perceived in this way. And like, even if I didn't understand it at that moment, my body used to go through these motions. It used to really be afraid of people who can see me, understand me, perceive me, cut through my shit with me, and vice versa. Okay. I'm triggering to some people who I do that with. Now, on the familiarity end, when you experience somebody who feels familiar, there's this rhetoric in this healing space that familiarity is bad, that you're somehow repeating a negative pattern, or you're repeating a childhood wound, or there's this like connotation that if you're familiar and comfortable with somebody, then all of a sudden you're attracting something that is from a wounded space. That could be true. I'm not going to put that off the table, because oftentimes, not often, I don't have a number for that, but sometimes that is true, that you're attracted to the same shit. You know what I mean? Because it's familiar, because it's like, that's just what you know, that's what you're comfortable with, that's kind of just like the, you know, status quo for you, that's just where you go. Sometimes that is true, but familiarity is not a negative thing. It is a comfort that your body might not actually be used to. You might actually be used to fighting to be seen, fighting to be heard, fighting for emotional availability, fighting for communication, fighting for this and that. And then all of a sudden when you have it, you're like, where's the argument? Where's the fight? Like, where's the hill I have to climb in order to get my needs met? Where is the struggle that I have to go through in order to get the thing that I want at the end? And this person's like freely giving it to you. This person's like, oh, here it is. Like, there's no transaction. There's no transactional fee. There's no expectation. There's no like give and take in this. Like, I'm just giving this to you. Communication. Oh, that's just normal. That's just the baseline. Like, oh, respect. Like, oh, like that's just here. And so your body sometimes goes into panic mode because it can't understand why it was easy. Familiarity kind of feels like this negative thing. Familiarity feels like this, let me run away from this because I don't know what to do about it kind of situation. Okay. So let me circle back to, why every time somebody's like reading your mind, or it seems like they're reading your mind, it is so specific and so, particular and just feels so detailed and pointed and targeted at you, is because we're tapped into the same collective consciousness. Now, you're, like I mentioned, you're in this stratosphere with me. Like, if we're in this life's algorithm, we have both chosen this particular lifeline, this timeline to be in together. And we're learning from each other. When you're learning from me, I'm learning from you, vice versa, in student-teacher interactions, in life interactions and community interactions. It's always the playground. It's always just like, hey, let's play, let's learn, let's kind of like glow and grow together. And there's this energy that starts to cultivate together. So when you experience something, you're informing the person who's reading your mind. And when that person is experiencing you, it is informing the way that they are able to translate that back to you. And this synergistic back and forth is just like a mirror. It's a reflection. I am a reflection of you. So when I'm going through my struggles, my things, and I'm reflecting them back to you, you might be tapped into the same algorithm where we're learning the same soul lessons. We're in the same soul curriculum. We got the same teachers, but in different fonts, and we're learning the same things, and so when you learn something and you share it with me, or however it is that I'm interacting with you, I learned something from you, and vice versa. I'm like, oh, I just learned this, or like there's this thing that I kind of navigated, or a cycle that I'm closing, and I express it to you. You're like, oh shit, like that's also true in my life. Yeah, we're just mirrors. Our souls are going through very similar lessons, and sometimes somebody's lessons are a little bit faster and slower, and some people are a couple of grade levels over here, so they're learning like different lessons, and some people's grade levels are over here, they're learning different lessons. It's not better or worse, it's just different lessons. But then when we come back together, it's just a mirror, it's just a reflection. Okay. Now, friends, if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe. And if you didn't already leave a review, I would love for you to leave one on Apple or Spotify or wherever it is that you're listening to this, and screenshot that review to me on Instagram at shanila.satar. And I will send you an ebook of journaling your chakras, all about how to navigate your energy centers. And perhaps it gives you some kind of insight about how you're channeling and mirroring other people in your life as well, as other people are mirroring you. All right, friends, remember, the world is your playground. And until next time, I will catch you soon.